Hey guys, it's Masatonic. I'm bilingual Harukist. 皆さん、こんにちは。バイリンガルハルキストのマサトニックです。Haruki Murakami, book guide short story number 37, The Ghost of Lexington. So, in this video, I'd like to talk about Murakami's very interesting short story, The Ghost of Lexington. But unfortunately, it's not translated into English for some unknown reason. But I really like this story, so I'd like to talk about it. So, let's get started. As always, this video is consists of three parts. First, overview. Second, story. Third, deep reading or reading tips from me. So first, overview. Like I said, unfortunately, it's not translated into English, and it's only contained and published this format, The Ghost of Lexington. But this short story collection include many other stories translated into English, and I already basically already introduced in my video series, like The Little Green Monster or Silence, The Iceman, Tony Takitani, The Seventh Man, The Blind Widow, and The Sleeping Woman. So in a way, the every short stories which included in this short story collection translated into English, and also I introduced in my video. Only exception is this, The Ghost of Lexington. Maybe it's really interesting and you could interest in. So I introduced in this video. So, and if you really wanted to know or want to read, only way is the I don't know any other language like French or Italy, Korean and Chinese. I don't know in that case, but English it's not translated. But so if you're interested in, please take a look at the Japanese edition and try. It's a very good practice to learn another language. Try to read your favorite author. In my case, of course, Murakami's English one. Anyway, so what kind of story is? It's not a long story, but not really short one. It's a kind of strange story. In this short story, a narrator or protagonist is Murakami himself. So, but which doesn't mean this is a real story on fact-based. Maybe some experience near experience he might experienced, but maybe the story itself is a maybe fiction. I think it's my guess, just my guess. But anyway, Murakami had once lived in US. In this case, in particular, Cambridge. And then during his stay, during his stay, he got an invitation from Casey, who lived in Lexington. Then Casey is a kind of just by chance he read Murakami's short story, and then he had very liked it and interested in the Murakami himself. And then he happened to know Murakami currently lived in Cambridge, so he sent a letter to Murakami. And as you can imagine, in usual case, Murakami doesn't respond such a letter or invitation from his so-called fans. But Casey mentioned about his gorgeous old jazz records collection, which his father had collected. So, and then obviously Murakami interested in that line. So, and then the distance between the Lexington and Cambridge not so far. So he one day he went to Casey. Murakami accepted Casey's offer, and he went to the Casey's house in Lexington. And then they got very close. And as Casey's described in his letter, the collection of jazz records is really good. Murakami really liked it, and Casey's character or personality is really attractive enough to get close. So, and they enjoyed their meeting, and their how to say so-called friendship had started. And after that, a few few months later, Casey have some issue, some business in London, so he have to leave a house about a week. But basically, Casey's partner is always doing such a job, but he's out from town, and there is some by chance no friends or acquaintance Casey can rely on. So then Casey reached out to Murakami. Why don't you keep my house during my stay in London? And Murakami think that's a pretty good idea because he can enjoy the many jazz records and also enjoy the Casey's preparing wine and some food. And so as earlier, earlier time, he accepted Casey's offer, and then he went to Casey's house and then say hi to Casey, and then instead Casey went to the London, and the Murakami's Casey's house stay had started. And the first night, he just first day he just tried to check whether if Murakami really doing work in Casey's house, just a trial, and also and he thought it might work and try some wine and listen to jazz records. And he thought it's really nice. And then in Casey's house, there's some dog named Miles. And then Miles' communication is so good. He's a really nice dog. So Murakami really enjoyed and satisfied. And as always, he went to bed kind of early, around 10 or something. But in the midnight, as you can imagine, he woke up, and when he checked, it's around just midnight. And the reason why he woke up in the midnight is some strange sound he can hear and he can heard. And that sound is many people's gathered in the Murakami's the guest room is second floor, and then in the ground floor there is some kind of reception room, and then so some kind of hall was there, which can so many people can gather, and then that in that hall, so many people apparently gathered and they chat with each other and with some music. Some kind of a little party had started, and that kind of sound, the how to say a sound of the party, he can heard above the floor. And then Murakami just confused why that kind of party had started in the middle of the night. And Murakami at first thought this is some kind of joke, Casey's joke. The visiting London is just an excuse, and it's not true. And then including Casey and Casey's friends gathered, and kind of surprise event, that kind of joke stories Murakami thought, but immediately he denied that idea. Casey is not a person, something like that he can do. So, and then, or in any other case, Casey's friends just visit without noticing Casey was there, and then just had started midnight, but also immediately deny that thought. Casey's friends is much more moderate person, so doesn't doing such a thing without Casey himself started a party at midnight. Maybe not, and then the atmosphere of the below people is not something like that, much more matured, a gentle atmosphere was there, not just a how to say lousy party. So, and then Murakami suddenly hit the idea, they were ghosts. And then Murakami kind of started to felt chill. And he at first and then he thought, why Miles doesn't bake at them? And he kind of really confused, and he think about whether he checked out what's happening in this below ground floor. But finally, in the end, Murakami just the scene keep just seeing doesn't break into the room, and whether if there's if ghost was there or not. So, and he just keep in his bed and try to sleep. But of course, in at such a case, the sleep doesn't come easily. So Murakami kept on waking, and but just before dawn, he can get a little sleep. And as dawn, he just get wake up, and that sound had disappeared. And then he downstairs and found Miles. And of course, when he entered that room, that hall, there is no trace of guest or no trace of a party at all. And then everything is left behind as Murakami's left in the room earlier that night. So maybe that's some kind, it's some kind of a dream or imaginary incident, but Murakami thought that is a ghost of Lexington. And then in usual story, this is the first night. Maybe in the second night or third night, something related or something similar incident and keep on happening. But in this case, just the first night only. After the after second day to the last day of the a week stay, Murakami's stay is very comfortable and satisfied one without any ghost of Lexington. So, and then cases came back, and of course Murakami doesn't refer about that incident because it's too complicated or too much nuanced one. So he doesn't mention about it and say bye to Casey. And Murakami went back to the Cambridge. And after the few months, they are both kind of busy, and there's no chance to communicate with them each other. And but after a few months ago, by chance, they met in the town and say hi to Casey, and Casey say hi to Murakami, and they started to chat at the a cafe, and Casey talked about his partner. His partner's mother had passed away, and then his partner keep on living kind of far from Lexington. And of course, sometimes they had a phone conversation, but as Casey says, his partner is personality has drastically changed, maybe affected by his mother's death. And then that change and stay in house by himself, Casey felt a much get old and get really exhausted. So but of course Murakami doesn't mention about that, but Casey talk about his long sleep like his father. Actually, Casey's father, after Casey's mother or Casey's father's wife had passed away, keep on sleeping in the bed about a week. And it's like a death-like sleep, doesn't respond to anything. But after that, he gradually wake up and then going back to a normal, ordinary life. But as his father, Casey, when his partner left and stay in the house by himself, Casey did a long sleep like his father, and he mentioned about the fathers and Casey's long sleep, and then Murakami just listened his story, and then their conversation had ended, and then it's almost the last part of the novel, and Murakami thought about Casey's and his father's sleep, such a long sleep experience. So, and then he thought that story is quite had a distance from me, and then the story ended. That's a story. So, as you can imagine from the title, The Ghost of Lexington, ghost story is main case. Maybe this second part, it's not split chapter or part. It's just a I'd say my explanation. But second part is most important one. But the ghost story is just Murakami himself experienced, and this third part is not just how to say some kind of after tale, but much more it's something like a part 3. It's both had the same, almost same amount of volume. So the third part itself had a meaning and very had important things, I think. So that is the story of Ghost of Lexington. So how should we enjoy it? Deep reading. So first, let's visit Lexington. To me, like as a foreigner and who have interested in Americans' life, it's really interested in what kind of town Lexington is. Of course, I can search and I can check the Google Map or Google Earth. So, and maybe with Street View, I can, let's say, I can feel an atmosphere of Lexington, but I think the experience really being there is totally different from such digital experiences. So to me personally, I really like to visit Lexington, and in my personal experience, I stayed in New York, Manhattan in New York. In the Manhattan, there is some street which is named Lexington, Lexington Avenue or Lexington Street, and I had an experience. I stayed there, so to me, it's only experience from Lexington, but still, it's really nice experience. So someday in the future, I really want to visit Lexington town itself. And also, think about the meaning of the midnight incident. I mean, ghost story, ghost experience. So who they are, and the meaning of their incident itself had what kind of meaning have in this total story. And also, let's think about Casey and his father's long sleep. As I said earlier, this long sleep story it's something like after tale, but or how to say epilogue, but the volume is not such a one. If this how to say a episode is really epilogue, maybe few paragraph. It's the Ghost of Lexington is a short story. Epilogue maybe need just a few paragraphs or just one or two pages, but this part has a much more pages. So and the volume, so it could have some meaning. It's a core or key theme related to key theme of this story, and it's maybe in some way related to ghost story itself. So let's think about it. Maybe it's a very good way to deeply read, but to the English reader, at first the problem is reading this story itself. So I hope someday somebody translate it into English. If I can, much more better. But I doesn't have a translating skill, and plus I doesn't have any authority to publish by myself. I'm not sure it's okay if it's okay or not. I don't know, but so this summary explanation is maybe it's exceptional, I think. So if you're interested in, and if you interested in reading Japanese text, just get this one and try to read. And yeah, and if you have any comment or feedback, please give me feedback. I really appreciate it. So that's all. Thank you for watching my video. I would appreciate if you give me a good rate or subscribe my channel. And like this, I posted this kind of book video. So I hope let's see next book video. Until then, see you, bye.